process of respiration in plants involves using the sugars produced during photosynthesis plus oxygen to produce energy for plant growth. They use the carbon dioxide from the environment to produce sugars and oxygen, which can later be utilized as a source of energy. We all know there are three main stages in plant respiration. There are glycolysis, Krebs cycle, and electron transport chain.
Glycolysis literally means splitting sugars, and it is the first step of cellular respiration, occurring in the cytoplasm of the cell. Glycolysis consists of two distinct phases, an energy investment phase and an energy harvesting phase. In the energy investment phase, two ATP molecules transfer energy to the glucose molecule. Forming a 6-carbon sugar diphosphate molecule splits and the energy harvesting phase begins. During this phase, the two 3-carbon molecules are converted to pyruvate and ATP is formed. Glycolysis is a 10-step reaction that involves the activity of multiple enzymes and enzyme assistants. In the process, a net of 2 molecules of ATP, 2 molecules of pyruvate and 2 high-energy electron-carrying molecules of NADH are produced.
In the process, a net of 2 molecules of ATP, 2 molecules of pyruvate and 2 high-energy electron-carrying molecules of NADH are produced. When oxygen is present, the pyruvate molecules and NADH enter the mitochondria and the next stage of plant respiration begins. The next stage of plant respiration involves the movement of pyruvate in the mitochondria, where it undergoes oxidation. Each pyruvate molecule is converted into a compound called acetyl-CoA. In the process of pyruvate oxidation, electrons are transferred to NAD, producing NADH, and carbon is lost, forming carbon dioxide. The next stage is citric acid cycle, also called the Krebs cycle. Here, acetyl-CoA will bind with a starting compound called oxaloacetate.
Called oxaloacetate and route a series of enzymatic redox reaction. All carbons, hydrogens, and oxygen in pyruvate ultimately end up as carbon dioxide and water. The pathway is called a cycle because oxaloacetate is the starting and ending compound of the pathway for every glucose and entering the glycolytic cycle. Complete twice one of each molecules of pyruvate that enter the mitochondria during pyruvate oxidation and the citric acid cycle. A net of 8 NADH2, FADH2, 2 ATP and 6 carbon dioxide are produced for each glucose molecules. In order to understanding how the majority of the energy is produced by aerobic respiration, we need to follow the NADH and FADH2 molecules to next stage, the electron transport chain.
Electron transport chain is a series of membrane-bound carriers in the mitochondria that pass electrons from one to another. As the electrons are transferred between the membrane proteins, the cell is able to capture energy and use it to produce ATP molecules. Protein in the chain pump hydrogen ion across the membrane. When the hydrogen ion flow back across the membrane through an ATP synthase complex. ATP is synthesized by the enzyme ATP synthase. Oxygen acts as the terminal electron acceptor. By accepting electrons, oxygen is reduced to form water, a byproduct of the electron transport chain. All the high-energy electrons carriers from the previous stage of cellular respiration bring their electrons into the chain. From this, the bulk of ATP from the entirety of cellular respiration is produced, a net of 32 to 36 ATP.
All the high-energy electron carriers from the previous stages of plant cellular respiration bring their electrons into the chain. From these, the bulk of ATP from the entirety of plant cellular respiration is produced, a net of 32 to 36 ATP. In summary, we have seen how the four stages of plant cellular respiration are responsible for converting the energy found in the glucose molecule into ATP. The energy battery of the plant cell, on average 36 ATP molecules are produced per glucose molecule that entered the plant cell.